Welcome, 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 everybody. Thank you so much for returning back to the Elephant Challenge. Tonight, we are going to have a lot of fun. Thank you guys for being okay with us doing this late. We are already at 1,000 people, unfortunately. We have booked out. How cool is that? That's pretty amazing. We're going to have a lot of people over on YouTube Live, so hopefully you guys are okay with us simultaneously streaming this. Let me quickly get through this because I know it's late in the East Coast. This has been nothing short of amazing for a lot of people. The DMs that I'm getting, people feeling confident, moving forward in their business, the progression that they're feeling, the positivity and the outreach from my students inside of Sub 2, people that have been with us as major leaders. You guys see what we create in that community. And most important is you guys see that we live exactly the way that we teach and we preach. We show you guys we want to help you. We're not here to charge you anything. We just want to help you out. So guys, if you are not a Sub 2 student, if you are not a Gator lender, and you are in here getting massive free value, please say thank you to the leaders. Say thank you to the people that have spent the time, the energy, the sacrifice, the money they've spent, the places they've traveled, the meetups they've gone to. Let them know that their sacrifice is you have gratitude towards that sacrifice because you know it will help you move forward, or it has helped you move forward. Now, for people that are new to this, okay, a lot of people have joined the Elephant Challenge because they've heard the roar of all of these elephants in here over the last week. People in Wholesale Hotline just came in. Just know that it's okay that you joined late. We are going to do this every single month. 3 days every month. The next time we're going to be doing this challenge is on August 18th, 19th, and 20th. I will personally be running every single challenge. I will not hand it off to somebody on my team. However, I will always have somebody by my side, somebody as powerful as Caroline Kane. Look at this beautiful woman getting 1% better. I'm not sure you only get 1% better every day. I think you get 5%, 10% better maybe every day.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just trying to be better than I was yesterday.
Amazing. So guys, tonight, I am going to tell you a couple of things that you may not want to hear. We have been using a piece of software to do this challenge. It's called Privy. Anybody that is currently using Privy, please say that you are not being scammed by me asking you to use Privy. Tell everybody it is absolutely amazing. It's some of the most simple software ever. One thing I can tell you about batch leads and PropStream and these other pieces of software is that once you get started in them, I know we still use them all. It's not the end. You're spending money on skip tracing. You're spending money on text blast. You're spending money, pulling lists. You're talking thousands of dollars. Okay, so what we did is we asked Privy to get us a link. We call it startwithprivy.com. Okay, go to startwithprivy.com. I'm going to turn the chat off. If you guys need Privy to follow along with us, comp deals, our goal is by Wednesday, everybody feeling confident and submitting offers collectively. So startwithprivy.com. If you don't have Privy, you will get left behind. I promise you, you will. I feel bad to say this. This is the only thing you're going to spend money on. Startwithprivy.com. Privy is the software that we're using. And I believe if you use promo code PACE, either it already gives you 20% with that link, or if you use the code PACE, it gives you 20% off. So startwithprivy.com. Please make sure people have the link. What our goal is for the night is we are going to have Benson from Privy. Can you guys believe he spent 30 hours last week giving basic beginner knowledge so slowly? I think the man is more patient than me. I was freaking blown away. And so tonight, what I asked him to do is I want everybody to learn one skill and one skill only. I want you to write this down. Rosie, thank you. I saw that she turned her head. She's going to write this down. Caitlin, are you going to write this down? Don't be making me angry. Sharon Lee, you better write this down. I'm watching you. What we're going to learn tonight, okay? We're going to learn one thing, and then I'm going to give you guys some instructions for tomorrow, okay? We're going to learn how to find an opportunity to submit an offer on utilizing Privy tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to show you how to fill out the paperwork to submit an offer. And then collectively on Wednesday, we are going to submit over 966 offers as a freaking group. We are going to break the world record. And then next month, what we're going to do is we are going to all be on accountability groups with leaders of Sub 2, leaders of our transaction coordinator squad, and leaders of Gator Lending. So you guys don't have to worry about having earnest money. You don't have to worry about having down payments. You don't have to worry about funding deposits. You don't have to worry about those kind of things because a bunch of badass leaders are in here hanging out with you guys and giving you what you need. Okay. If you are excited, please fill up the chat. Tell people you're excited and grateful to be here. So tonight, the thing I want you to learn, and at the end of the night, I want you to check it off your list, is do you know how to find opportunities using Privy? Write that down, Sharon Lee. I'm looking at you. I'm checking you. She's like, I wrote it down. Okay. That's the only thing we're teaching. Okay. We're not overwhelming anybody. We're not going to try and get into some sort of crazy creative finance stuff or wholesale assignment things that, guys, we're keeping it basic. We're going to bring Handsome Benson on the screen with us tonight, and we are going to have him show us how to find opportunities utilizing Privy, something worthy of an offer. And then tomorrow, we're going to actually show you how to submit an offer. Is that slow enough for you guys? Is that good enough for you guys? Do you feel confident and not overwhelmed? Amazing. I get my energy from the side chat if you haven't learned. People go, how are you working all the time? I'm like, side chat. How do you have energy all the time? Side chat. How do you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning? Side chat. Community, baby. All right, so let's bring up Benson. Let's have him help us out. Guys, one last time. I know that I'm talking a lot, but I want to make sure everybody's ready for this. Is everybody ready for the badass Benson Juarez? This man has been so absolutely patient showing us this software. Bro, look at this. You're like a rock star right now, dude. Everybody, 1,000 people in Zoom, 300 people over on YouTube just all showed up for you.
It's amazing, man. And all because of you guys. I'm so grateful to be here. It's been a blast. The positive feedback has been overwhelming. I've never been thanked so much in my entire life. I was ready to quit like 2 weeks ago. I was ready just to hang it up.
Yeah, right.
I've got my days, right? We've all got our days. You know, when you guys you're just grinding and grinding and grinding, and it's like sometimes you're just like, why do I even do this? You know, why? And I know we've got a bigger goal here. I know we've got some big goals and we're doing some cool things, but this is just like it's totally re-energized me, man. I just feel so positive about everything that we're doing and just the positive feedback and the deals that people are getting. And I mean, just today, like at least 20 people, at least. Like, oh my God, I'm so much closer to a deal than I've ever been in my entire career. I've never written an offer before. Like I never really could connect all the dots in my head on how to do this thing. It's like, it finally makes sense. Like these aha moments are happening. Like those aha moments are gold, you know, and there's no way to get KPIs on aha moments, right? There's no numbers to measure that. But what I do know is that, and I don't know what the numbers are going to be, but if we submit 966 offers on Wednesday, how many do you think we can get accepted? Right? Like, what do those numbers look like?
A lot, a freaking lot.
So I'm just so stoked to be here. It's been a blast.
Thank you. So tonight we're going to keep it basic for everybody. We've got a combined 1,400 people watching, all free. If you guys wanted to learn how to fill out wholesale contracts and assignment contracts, go over to my YouTube channel tomorrow or another day. We will give you guys all the resources. So here's what we're going to do. Before we get started, please, step one, make sure you have Privy. It's the only tool you're going to need to complete the challenge. Go to startwithprivy.com, promo code PACE. Okay. And what we're going to do is get on Privy. We're going to side by side utilize Privy. That has been a big game changer. I think this is the only challenge I've ever been a part of, heard about, that people are literally comping side by side, going through the actions with the owner of the software. I've literally never seen that. And we had a very proud moment twice I was very proud that we crashed Privy servers on Tuesday and we crashed them again on Thursday because you guys are freaking action takers. Okay. That is something that I hope we crash their servers every single month and we force Benson to spend all the money on us.
Yeah, we're just going to stack up on servers. Maybe I can go to Amazon.com and buy more Amazon servers. Do you think they sell them there?
I think we should just buy Amazon, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
So make sure you have Privy. What we're going to do is we're going to follow along with Benson. If you guys are new to the challenge, don't worry. We didn't really talk about it. It just kind of got so popular, it kind of blew up. Now, Caroline has done a good job. She's put the link in the side chat. Startwithprivy.com, 20% off if you use the code PACE. Great. Awesome. Great. Somebody's going to ask in 5 minutes, what's the code? What's the link? What's this? Please help them out. Put it in the side chat. Everybody copy and paste that so everybody else can have it so we don't have to bring it up again because I want to move forward. What we want to do tonight is we want to show you how to find on-market deals on Privy. We've shown you how to comp. And then what we're also going to do is I'm going to bring Carly on here in a little bit, and Carly and I are going to talk about next month's challenge. Okay, tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're going to be working with you guys on the live challenge to get you onto future accountability groups so that you guys have resources. You have people you can rely on. You have people that you can get money from in terms of lending, Gator lenders. We're going to show you guys what transaction coordinators do. We did that yesterday. Actually, we talked about what transaction coordinators do for about 45 minutes or so. And we're going to introduce you to a transaction coordinator on everybody's team. What we're also going to do is we're going to let you as accountability groups name your own accountability groups because we will have individual competitions between the accountability groups next month on August 18th, 19th, and 20th. As a collective group of thousands of people, our one main objective is to continually send out more offers than we did the month before. We are going to add 1,000 new offers every month. So August, our goal is to go to 2,000 offers in one day. In September, it's 3,000. In October, it's 4. November, 5. And my ultimate goal is that by the end of the year, we can submit 6,000 offers in one day. Is that possible? Do you guys think that that is possible? Caroline she likes to turn off the chat, and
It's been back on.
I feel like I'm Samson. She's cut off my hair. I've lost all my power when you turn the chat off.
I'm trying to keep us on time.
I know. She's like, it always takes Pace 15 minutes to actually get started. But again, what it does is it clarifies and clears out a lot of questions that people have. So, guys, if you are brand new in here, please make sure that it is okay in your mind that you just showed up. You'll feel a little bit overwhelmed tonight because most of us had 5 days of little training, incremental training throughout last week. Don't worry. If you hang with us, we will catch you up. Just be patient. We're trying to do this slowly and surely. And last question before I let Benson take over for the night. Of course, I'll be here, but I want everybody in the side chat to tell me how you have enjoyed it or not enjoyed how slow we've gone over the last week. Did you enjoy going slower and backtracking and rehearsing? Or do you think like we should go a lot faster? Some people are like, actually, you could go slower. You went slow AF and I loved it. Oh, I love it. All right, guys. So Benson's going to show us tonight. We've already done the overview of what Privy is and Privy does. It helps you find opportunities to submit offers on. It also helps you find buyers who are actively buying or maybe even have active deals on the market. And it also helps you comp deals better than any MLS that I have ever seen. In fact, if you are an agent and you are using Privy, I would say chances are that you like Privy more than your own MLS when it comes to comping deals. My wife loves it. My whole team loves it. Michelle right there says they love it. A lot of agents right there are saying they love it more than the MLS. Privy is the bomb. So Benson, do you think that in 45 minutes or less, we could show people how to find an opportunity and give them a couple of steps that they can take home as homework? Now, I'm going to let him answer, but I want you guys in the side chat. There are new people in here. If you are new, I want you to say, I'm new. Here's my phone number, so that the leaders and the other people in here can help you get caught up. They can get you on their accountability team. Please make sure you say, I'm new. If you are on YouTube, we love you. We absolutely love you. I might even open this up to air meet if people want me to turn it air meet, because then I could have thousands of people on here instead of just capped at 1,000, but I'm not sure. It costs a lot of money to do that. So Benson, do you think in 45 minutes we could teach people how to find an opportunity in their local market and get them ready to submit, to learn how to submit an offer tomorrow?
100%. We could find several.
You're the boss. We're going to follow. I'm going to open up my Privy right now, and I'm going to follow along with you. You tell me to do something, I'm going to do it.
Cool. So for those of you, just a quick catch-up summary on what the heck it is you're looking at. So
Privy, hey Benson, before we do the catch-up, I want to see if you can do one thing. I know some people had a hard time following your cursor. Could you go up to the top where it says view options and go to annotate and see if you can, if you have an option for your cursor mouse, maybe to annotate it or anyway? So people can follow.
Are you talking about inside of Zoom?
Yeah, in Zoom on the, he should have the option because he's sharing his screen. So if you go to the, wherever your view option is for sharing your screen and annotate, just because I've had a lot of people say they had a hard time following the cursor.
I didn't know you could. Oh, that's dope.
There we go. Yeah. Is that easier for everybody if we do that? We can follow his cursor. Perfect. Okay. I'm handing it back to you, Benson, and I'm going to let you take away and give us a catch up.
That was cool.
Got all your Zoom secrets if you guys need help.
Uh-oh, people are already drawing on the screen. So number one, please don't draw on the screen. But I want you to see to understand what it is that you're looking at here. So this is the Privy map coverage. We've got a lot of good companies out there. Pace mentioned Batch, you know, there's PropStream. There's a lot of companies out there that have quote unquote MLS data. The first thing is that not all MLS data is created equal. One of the things that we do that none of our other competitors do is we actually go and we negotiate direct to MLS data contracts. So what this means is we've got the raw data, the same data that agents and appraisers use in our system. Right now it's in select markets. There's no national MLS. We have to go on a market by market basis. So we're currently in 60 plus markets. It's everywhere where it's blue. Everywhere it's red is what we're currently working on. And we've got new team members on board that are going and doing a hard charge on adding another 50 MLS markets in the next 12 months. Actually, 6 months. 6 months. So that's going to cover about 80% of the entire country. Now, why is that important? Well, you can go and you can comp properties out in Boise, Idaho, right? Boise is a great place. It has, you know, nice people, but right now we don't have direct to MLS data there. So you could actually pull comps there and it will have, you know, the sold comparables. You can still pull lists if you want of motivated sellers and, you know, absentee owners, foreclosures, all that stuff. Okay. I call it PropStream level data, right? Not a huge problem. But here's what we step it up. We actually go, we got all these other areas. So when I choose a market to target, 60 markets is plenty. There's probably 30 of those are decent markets to target. That's where I'm going to look for deals, okay? Because when I'm choosing the path of least resistance, I want the best data at my fingertips. So I'm not going to force a market that isn't giving me the best insight into that local area. One of the things that's going to help us find deals is actually knowing what a deal looks like. And you're not going to find that on YouTube University. You're not going to find it in a podcast or a book or any place else. They can't tell you what a deal is in your target market. So the way that we're going to find deals is by teaching you what a deal looks like. Okay, now this isn't going to be a long education session. You literally can figure it out in minutes, right? And it's some of the quickest, most valuable knowledge that we should charge a lot more for. But it's part of the foundational education piece of our system that will makes it work. Okay. Now, first thing, number one, we want to use a direct to MLS market if we want it to make it the most simple on us. You know, if you're like Sharon and you're up in, was it Virginia? I think we didn't have a great experience up there because Sharon is targeting an area that she knows, and it doesn't have direct to MLS data there yet. Okay, but if you want a smoother path and you just want to make the system work, not force your market, you're going to go to one of these blue areas. All right. Now the next layer is up top right here where it says investor activity. I'm going to click this blue fix and flip button. This is going to plot out on the map where all the fix and flips in the United States have been. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't do a fix and flip. Why does that matter to me? Well, it matters because when we measure how good a deal is, we usually say, okay, what percentage of the after repair value is it? The lower the percentage of ARV, the better the deal. The ARV is what a property is worth after it's been fixed up by the fix and flipper and sold, right? That's what we're shooting for. We want to find the high investor activity areas, because one of the things that's kind of it's one of those things that we just don't really focus on is we need to go and look for deals where our comps are at. If we look for deals where our comps are at, then it's going to make it a lot easier for us to find out what the ARV is of a property. If you got renovated comparables, your ARV is what the house that was next door was fixed and flipped and sold for. Okay, that's what you're shooting for. You were shooting for this 4-star comp. A 4-star comp is a property that was fixed and flipped, that closed yesterday. It has the exact same property characteristics as yours. It's called a mirror property. And it was right next door, fixed and flipped and closed yesterday. Fixed and flipped, closed yesterday, and has the exact same property characteristic. That's a 4-star comp. So when you're looking to get, again, the path of least resistance, you want to go to an area where you can find renovated comparables. It sounds counterintuitive to some people because they think, oh, I don't want to go there because I don't want the competition. Well, competition is essential for this business. Without competition, you have no comps. And without comparables, and not just any comparable, renovated comparables, you can't prove ARV. So that's the goal, right? So we're going to go and we're going to target a high investor activity area. It's an area that has more blue on the map than other areas. The more blue, the higher the numbers, the better the deals are there, the more activity there is. Okay. So I look at areas like Kansas City. I look at areas like St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Chicago, I really like. Now, Chicago's got limitations on wholesale, but there's always a way to navigate those waters. Indianapolis, Cleveland, Philadelphia. There's another market that's coming soon. Pittsburgh is one that we're working on that I'm actually really interested in. When you go down to the kind of this part of the country, Atlanta is popping. There's a lot of activity there. So there's several markets where you can actually get deals done. Now, one of the things that I love about Privy is that we actually have the ability to find properties and get more intelligence in like a non-disclosure state, at least for right now. Right now, this is an area where if you're in the, say, like the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there is quite a bit of activity going on here. And as we start to drill down here, this activity, you can get a better sense of like where deals are being done, right? Now, for example, let's say, for example, you lived up here in Wiley, Dallas, the suburbs of Dallas, right? Wiley is maybe where you live. And so what would the average person do? They'd go and they'd look for deals in Wiley because that's what's convenient. But the fact of the matter is that you're not going to be able to make the model work there as well as if you were to get closer to where the activity is, like in Dallas. So Garland, see this here, Garland area? This is where there's a lot of stuff going on, lots of investor activity. So as we sort of drill down here, and let's circle this area. Let's say we like this area right here. We got 1,000 people.
I was going to say, we just keep crashing this. There's so many action takers that we're making it slow on your end, huh?
Yeah. Yes, you are correct.
You know what, though? It's really good for not only because we're taking action, but it also forces us to remind ourselves to go slow for the people that are new. And absolutely. I appreciate it because what happens is I have the tendency to go way too fast. Even when I think I'm going slow, I have a tendency of going too fast. And so most people will appreciate the fact that we are going slow and we're not 18 steps ahead of them and they're like on step 2. We did this last week. Like on Tuesday, literally people were like, you're 6 steps ahead of me. We were thinking, we thought we went slow. And you guys reminded us to slow it down even more. So thank you guys so much. This is great.
Yes. It's the, I feel like we've got a pretty good dev team. They just they're ramping up into a size of activity that we haven't experienced before. So I have them look into this. I really hope that they can figure this out here soon. But here's what I'm going to do. I am going to get this going here.
This is good. Let me unshare your screen for just a minute so I can address people for at least about a couple minutes, okay? If you don't mind. So a couple of things that we're trying to do here, guys, is we've got now 1,500 people watching, right? We got 1,000 people on Zoom and 500 people on YouTube. So everybody on YouTube, we love you. We appreciate you. I am going to move this tomorrow to something where we can all collectively be together, okay? I believe we're going to end up moving it to probably Air Meet, as much as I don't want to move it to Air Meet because it's expensive for me to run. For everybody that's on there, upgrade Zoom, bro. Zoom, I'm best friends with Zoom. They know me. Literally nobody does more Zoom hours a month than us. Our team, literally Zoom has a golden champion trophy. When you walk into the Zoom headquarters, it's me and Caroline standing there. It says, welcome to Zoom. These are the 2 Zoom heroes, Pace and Caroline. We don't have there is not a better Zoom on the planet than the Zoom account that we have. It's not just the enterprise. It's like the enterprise secret platinum black card of Zooms that most people don't even know exist. We got that.
They gave us stock options.
Exactly. Okay. So we don't have a better Zoom. So we have to go to a place that ends up costing us money. So AirMeet is one of those things that we use because it allows for way more people to be on the same exact account. So I'm going to create an AirMeet for the rest of the challenge, guys. I want everybody I don't have it yet, but while Benson is, when Benson pulls his screen back up, I will go create the AirMeet link, bring it back in here so that we can all be in here tomorrow together and the rest of the week together. Okay. You guys all understand that? I'm going to give you guys the AirMeet link tomorrow. Give me a thumbs up, an okay, a yes, thank you, all that kind of stuff. Okay, we'll spend the money. It'll probably end up costing us a couple $1,000, but it's all good. Somebody will pay the bill. I don't know who will pay the bill, but somebody will. Now, another thing that we're going to be doing is I want everybody to know that we want everybody on this challenge to be on a team. Does anybody want to be left behind? Does anybody want to do this solo dolo, or does everybody want to be on a team? You want leaders. You want people from my sub 2 squad that have been with me for 6 months, a year. Some of my students have been with me for 2.5 years, show up every single day and help people get their deals. We're going to have multiple sub 2 students as leaders of yours. We are going to organize you into teams geographically all over the country. We'll figure that out. Do we have it all figured out? No, we don't, but yes, we do, because we'll figure it out as we go. And this is something that nobody on the planet has done. We are doing it together. Okay. So here we go. Deals for accountability, but still submit deals individually. That is correct. You need accountability for a couple of things. We were finding last week that people were like, well, I need a little bit more attention. I need somebody to get on the phone with me. I need somebody to show me what I'm doing wrong. And so you need an accountability partner to help you utilize Privy, right? You also need accountability partners to do your homework together. People are spending time with us and then afterwards are going and doing their homework together. So like study groups, okay? Think of accountability groups also as study groups. Then we're going to stack your accountability groups with leaders. People are doing deals, both cash and creative. We are then also going to stack your accountability teams with transaction coordinators that know how paperwork works, how to submit an offer, all of that stuff. And then we're also going to put lenders, Gator lenders, on your team as well. So you go, Pace, I'm in a deal, but they want a deposit. What do I do? I don't need to answer that question because you should ask your accountability group that has leaders and lenders already there. People are like, well, how do I find private money? You join the Elephant Challenge and we'll give them for you. Okay? Boom. Suck it. Not you guys, just in general. You know what I'm saying? So we will switch this to AirMeet so everybody knows. Now, I've got a lot of leaders in Sub 2 all over the country. I see a lot of them right now in the side chat. If you are a Sub 2 student, sound off to the people. Let people know you're a Sub 2 student and proud. Okay? Sub 2 in here. We're all here to help you guys out. Benson, you ready to rock and roll, my brother?
I am. Thanks for the assistance on that.
I could always talk for 5 more minutes. If you want me to talk for 5 more minutes, I got
this is great. Okay. They're working on some things there. So, and I appreciate everyone's patience on that. Sometimes I like to just brush by it and just be like, oh, it's no big deal. This is all stuff we're working on, right? So I appreciate you guys' patience. There's some growing pains there. We did add 2 new servers this last week, so they're optimizing them, getting them all ready to go. But I appreciate everyone's understanding and patience. So kind of getting back to where we're at, this is the area that I circled here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area because it had the most investor activity. This is where the most deals are being done anywhere in the whole Dallas and Fort Worth Metroplex. And the reason the way we can see that is because we can see all these individual deals that were closed. 205 have closed in this little part of Dallas in the last 12 months.
Where are you seeing that number? How did you know it's 205?
Up here. Actually,
gotcha. Could you
turn
read
my
it? Yes.
annotation on again.
Thank you. So make sure we're all on the same page as you. Guys, are we like so grateful that Benson is going slow enough for us and like deep diving? There we go. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Benson.
All right, so that definitely helps. There's that little red guy. Now, earlier when I mentioned it's going to be easier for you to identify a deal when you know what a deal looks like. Most of the time when we start in this business, they don't teach us real estate, which is kind of weird, right? You want to be real estate investors, we want to be wholesalers, but people teach you to go start cold calling, skip tracing, chasing leads, and all that stuff can definitely work. But I think in conjunction with that, no matter which path you choose, learn the real estate side of the business. Figure out what people are buying properties for, what they're selling them for, how much money they're making, how long the process takes, where are the hot areas, based off of the investor activity map. And then drill down into a specific area and start to learn what a deal is. Because then once you can see what a deal looks like, and here's a deal that closed recently, it's 11234 Cactus Lane, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,624 square feet, right? So this house right here was flipped. Now our algorithm finds these not because there's some flag in the MLS or somebody saying, hey, this is a flip. We have to basically infer based off of the data that we can find. And so we can infer that this one was a flip because we had 2 transactions in that time period. Now, Pace mentioned about the comping. The comping piece is really important because sometimes we get caught up on it, right? We get into our heads about the numbers and we hesitate and we procrastinate and we just don't take action because at the end of the day, whatever offer you make, it could be accepted or it could be declined. They might say no, right? Like that's scary. We don't want people to say no. So how do you get a better offer out? Well, you get a better offer out when you actually understand the comps and you can actually see what other people are selling properties for. And you can see what deals they've done, excuse me, and what they've done to them. What are the actual numbers on a closed deal? So this house that closed just a couple days ago, it's right here. It's 11234 Cactus Lane. Over here on the left is the before. This is what they bought it for. These are the before pictures. So this is like those houses that Pace and Jamil find on their show. This is what it looks like before they start beating the crap out of it, right? This is it. And then once they do that, then they flash ahead after there's, the build and everybody's working together. But now we can see the after products. We can see what kind of, design they did, that we can get design ideas, what kind of materials did they use. And this is just great information so that you can understand like what drives value. And it's also too, the simple fact that you can see that this house, because we can see the before and after, is representative of ARV. Well, now when we're calculating our numbers, we're like, well, what's the ARV in an area? Well, it's your ARV is what a similar house in the same neighborhood was fixed and flipped and sold for. This is an example of that. There's some other useful data here. So if we're going to write offers on Wednesday, you're likely going to want to use an agent, right? You're going to need an agent to be able to submit an offer. Now, you could go directly to the listing agent. You can absolutely can. And this is the listing agent on this house right here. But Carlos Castaneda works with investors, right? So he understands what it takes to work with investors. Does he work with wholesalers? Maybe. Does he work with fix and flippers? Does he work with buy and hold investors? Not sure of his whole profile. However, Carlos is someone you want to work with. Down below that, you can actually see the details of the deal. So they got it for $286,000. They sold it for $435,000. That's a $149,000 gross margin. Now, when I say gross, not gross like it stinks or it's unsightly, it means that they haven't taken out costs yet. Now, whenever we calculate the percentage of ARV, it's always a gross number. So some people are always like, well, what about the construction? Well, yeah, that's a different calculation. We're not calculating net profit or some other sub number. We're calculating percentage of ARV. So this was acquired at 66% of the after repair value from the MLS. Now, again, a lot of people are going to talk about, oh, is there deals that are on market, off market, all those kinds of things people talk about. I want to show you something very interesting here that I think you guys will find interesting. And we're getting ready to do this on a grander scale. But we actually had some data scientists come into Denver and measure the number of off-market deals compared to on-market deals in a certain time frame. And of every property that was sold, there was a fix and flip, because we have all the off-market ones too that were acquired. 61% of them came from the MLS.
Holy
38%
smokes.
of them were off-market. Now, every market, Denver it's going to be different than Dallas, and Dallas is going to be different than Phoenix, right? But this gives you some insight, like, oh my gosh, like I had no idea that so many of the fix and flip type properties are coming from the MLS. It's true. So if you're ignoring MLS deals or opportunities as a major source of your deal flow, you're ignoring the majority of the stuff out there, right? And before, we'd never really had like solid numbers to show it to you, but now we're beginning to get that insight by looking at the actual data that's there and making sure that we understand that, listen, there's deals everywhere. You don't have to focus on one way or the other. But if in the back of your head, you're just still thinking, man, I don't think MLS is going to work. I don't think it's going to work. Well, it's working for 61% of everybody that's doing deals out there. So maybe you should start to get on board, okay? Plus, we're looking at one, and there's tons of them in there. For those of you guys that did your homework the other night and you started to dig into your 10 to 20 properties, I mean, you probably found some numbers that were similar to that, where a lot of stuff, people were buying stuff from the MLS. So that's a good thing, right? Because if we're going to go and we're going to write offers on Wednesday on market deals, we want to potentially sell those or dispo those to a buyer who is willing to buy from the MLS. And having the intelligence that this buyer right here, who closed this deal, it's Radix Realty LLC. So Radix Realty LLC is the company that actually flipped this property. Okay, this is when they bought it. They haven't recorded the final.
That was really cool. I want to make sure I understood where you did that. Can you scroll back up and just show me one more time? Because I was being ADD. I was messaging in the side chat and I wasn't paying attention. I want to make sure I understand. How did you find who flipped this?
So we're looking at the deal here, right? And we scroll down to the public records section in Privy. And this is the section where we bring in all the information about when you're doing your research. Like when you're doing off market, same as on market, you want to know who the buyers are or who the owners are. Gotcha. So it started off right here on the assessors tab. And since this one was a recent closing, the fix and flipper is actually still in the owner field. As soon as they record the final deed, this guy, Radix, will move up, and then it'll show the people who moved into it, who are going to raise their family there, and Radix will move up to the final property history. But they're a buyer, right? So Radix is kind of a unique and very valuable target for you. We know they're buying from the MLS. We also know that what percentage of ARV they're willing to buy at. So when you're searching for deals, a deal isn't just a deal university. A deal is a deal for a specific buyer. So when you're looking for deals on Wednesday, you want to have in mind who it's a deal for, not just some general 70% MAO formula, which I'm going to show you right now. Radix bought this thing for $286,000. So let's say let's do the 70% MAO formula. You're probably all familiar with it. The after repair value on this property is what it was fixed and flipped and sold for. So 435. Okay. 435,000 times 70% is 304,000. Now, the next step in that 70% MEO formula that most people do, I'm going to show you a reason why you might not want to use it as often, or at least use it as a major decision-making tool, right? There's going to be other things I think you should lean on. We have to subtract out the construction costs. So how do we calculate construction costs? Well, you use the square footage of the home, and then you can multiply that by the cost per square foot of doing a construction project. And in most markets, it's a range. So you've got like a low end renovation, which would be like a cosmetic flip. You got middle of the road, which is, like a full reno, but it's not, you don't need major systems, or we're not knocking walls down. And then maybe we have a kind of like a gut where we have to do everything's got to be completed. So that tier may be anywhere from, say, $25 a square foot at the bottom, $35 a square foot in the middle, and maybe $50 a square foot at the top. So let's use $35 a square foot to estimate the cost on this, because this is what somebody would do if they were going to write an offer on this property. So I'm going to multiply 1,624 times $35 a square foot, gives us $56,840. Okay, so we know that before that, we were at 304,000, correct? 304. That was 70% of 435.
So I'm actually going to stop you. So everybody, if you're overwhelmed right now, pull your calculator out on your phone, okay? Just so you can follow along with Benson and you're understanding the math. So I'm going to pull my calculator and go with him, all right? So because I see some people it's a little fast, and is everybody with us, or is anybody lost in the numbers? Is anyone lost in the numbers? Give me a yes or no. Lost. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, every computer has a calculator on it, you guys. So if you don't have a calculator handy, just go into your search bar right here and type in calculator, and it'll pop one up on there, and then pin it to your bar down here so you can get access to it.
Yeah.
Down the
Make
road.
it nice and easy. So Benson's under on the left-hand side.
Benson, can I have the floor for about 5 minutes?
Take it.
100%.
Will you unshare for just a minute? I want to get people to understand a couple of things. So, guys, I just had a conversation with Carly, who's going to help run this challenge on the back end. Okay. I want to answer a couple of questions. We're going to pause. A lot of people are feeling a little bit of overwhelmedness. So let me answer a couple of questions for you. These questions commonly pop up, so let's answer them really quickly. Okay. Number one, are there replays? The answer is yes, there are replays. So what we're going to be doing is, you want these replays. If you have signed up with Privy, I will give you all the replays via email. I will have Benson send them out in an email with all of the replays in order of everything we did last week. Okay. Everybody feel good about that? You're going to get, if you have signed up with Privy, you're either underneath Jamil. If you are underneath Jamil, this is good. That's fine. If you are underneath Pace, you are good. That's fine. If you are underneath Laura, my wife, that's good. You're fine. If you don't have Privy, make sure you go to startwithprivy.com and use promo code PACE. And as long as you have used that promo code PACE, Benson can go into his profile inside of Privy, and he has a whole list of everybody that signed up underneath Pace or underneath Jamil. And he can choose, I'm going to email these people and these people all of the replays. Okay. I will have him do that first thing tomorrow morning. Is everybody on the same page with where we're going to get the replays from? Can I move on to the next question? Give me 999 yeses. That's how many people we have in this Zoom right now. Okay, I want to make sure we're all good, because that question's come up a bunch of times. Okay. Here's what's going to happen. Today is Monday. Okay. And then we've got Tuesday and we've got Wednesday. This challenge is going to go through Thursday and Friday, but the big crescendo, the big day is right here on Wednesday. Our goal between today, tomorrow, is to prepare you for this day so that you can identify an opportunity. Doesn't mean you have to be perfect or well-rounded or have everything figured out. We are going to submit at least 966 offers as a group on Wednesday. You will be prepared between what you learn today and what you learn tomorrow to submit an offer utilizing Privy. We will then rehearse it again on Thursday, rehearse it again on Friday. What I'm also going to do is if you are a sub-2 student, okay, if you are a sub-2 student, here's what I want you to do. Okay, please pay attention if you are a sub-2 student. We need sub-2 students to be in charge of and lead the accountability groups so that nobody falls up behind. Okay, there are people in here that are relying on you. So go into our private Facebook group. Okay, and I just made a post and I gave you Carly's information. Okay, Carly's email is in there. Please email Carly and tell her I want to lead a group. Okay. Go to the private group inside of Sub-2. If you are a Sub-2 student, I need you to be a leader. I want you to go get Carly's contact information inside that private Facebook group and say, I want to lead the group. What we're going to do is we're going to put, please pay attention, this is important to everybody, not just Sub-2 students. We are going to put at least 5 Sub-2 students in charge of every group so that people do not feel left behind. These accountability leaders are in charge of one transaction coordinator that will help out with paperwork. Okay. When people are submitting offers and doing transactions with title and escrow companies, I'm also going to put you with between 1 to 10 Gator lenders on every group. And then everybody else that's a non-Sub-2 student, a non-Gator, I want you guys, we're going to have probably about 50 people per group. Okay. And what the goal is that nobody gets left behind. So if you have a question about how to use Privy, or is this a good deal or not? Or, hey, I'm having a mindset issue. Or, hey, I need help with X, Y, and Z. Or, hey, where's the link for such and such? Or, hey, what's going on? Or, hey, what was the homework? All of that kind of stuff. That is you right here. For the people that don't currently have a group, if you are one of these non-Sub-2 students that are saying, I need a group, tomorrow, I will tell you how to join a group so that you can have accountability and people to work with. Tomorrow, not today, which is Monday, tomorrow, which is Tuesday. Richard Holman says, I don't have a group. Well, I just answered the question of when that's going to be. Does everybody who is not a Sub-2 student understand how you will be added to a group? Give me a yes. Okay, I will give you the answer tomorrow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to organize all of the Sub-2 leaders. I'm going to organize the transaction coordinators. So the Sub-2 leaders that are going to be in charge of the groups, the transaction coordinators that are going to be placed on the groups, and the Gator lenders that are going to be there to support and lend capital and money are going to be in that group as well. So that everybody has money, everybody has a transaction coordinator, and everybody has a Sub-2 student. Are we all on the same page with at least these first couple of questions of how are people going to get on the group? How are people going to be organized? All of that stuff. Are we feeling confident, good, etc.? Now, to answer this question one more time, how do I get the replay? Fill it up in the chat. How am I going to get the replay for all of last week's training? It is an email coming from who? Okay. All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Now, tomorrow, I got one more thing here, Caroline. Tomorrow, We are no longer going to do this on Zoom. Zoom is out. The reason for this is because Zoom only allows for 1,000 people. We are currently over 1,600 people right now. I want to transfer this to AirMeet. Okay. You will get the AirMeet link tonight from, or not tonight, but tomorrow morning from Benson. Again, if you are a Privy client, either underneath Jamil or underneath Pace, there's a list of people who have signed up underneath us. If he sees a list of people that signed up underneath Jerry Norton, we're not sending it to them. If you signed up underneath Max Maxwell, I love Max Maxwell. I'll call him Double Max Maxwell. If you're on that list, I will not be sending that. I do not want to teach those people because I don't want to deviate from their teachings. They have their own flow, their own style. I don't want to mess up their students' flow. And so if you are a Jamil or a Pace client underneath Benson, please, yeah, that's really good. Anthony says Benson's or Max squared. I like that. Okay, so that is how you are going to get the replay. And that is also how you are going to get the AirMeet link for tomorrow and the rest of the training. Why am I switching to AirMeet? AirMeet allows for over 1,000 people, although it does cost us $1 per person that registers. AirMeet is the most stable, easiest thing to use for over 1,000 people. Okay? Everybody feeling good about this? Okay? Yes. Also, Laura. People are going to ask this question. Are you underneath Laura? Laura and Pace are going to be the same exact account, just FYI. Okay? That is going to be brought. I did not hammer that home strong enough. That's going to come up 85 more times. Okay? If you are looking, somebody's asking the question, I've been with Benson, or I've been with Privy for a while. So if you want to make sure you are underneath Jamil or myself, here's what I suggest you do. Go to Privy, and there's a little communication button. Benson's going to be like, no. But here we go. Here's how we do it. Please watch what I'm doing, and I will show you. If you're on Privy, right here.
Actually, Benson gave us a new, I'm actually going to let Benson explain it, because Benson, you gave us a new link to use. And it's
I created a form.
Easier.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Can you put it in the side chat?
Right in it. Do you have that, Caroline?
Yeah. Give me a minute. I'll pull it up. It's on my email.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I'm gonna shut down. I'm gonna shut down the Zoom chat for just a minute, so Caroline can go on both YouTube and on Zoom to make sure. What I want you guys to do is make sure you're either underneath Jamil or you're underneath Pace by sending out a message to Benson so that we can give you the correct information. I can tell you the hardest thing of running a challenge like this is actually not teaching you guys. It's not motivating you guys. It's not getting you guys to take action because you guys all want to take action. Literally, the hardest part of all this is making sure people get the link. It is so hard. You get links showing up in the chat. Sometimes you're on your phone. I can tell you it's so stinking hard. Okay, so Caroline just did a screen share. She's showing you the form. Okay, Caroline, I'm gonna go and take this over to YouTube so people can do it on YouTube as well.
Perfect.
So guys, make sure in order for you guys to get the AirMeet link and for you guys to get access to the replays, there's a link that is in the side chat right now. YouTube, I just gave you guys the link. I am pinning it right now. Please make sure you tell Benson at Privy, hey, I'm a Pace client or I'm a Laura client or whatever, okay? I believe we've covered that pretty strongly. So, oh, that's easy. You filled that out in about 15 seconds. Love it. Okay, cool. Very, very, very cool. All right. I'm going to open up the chat, so please make sure you guys take that link that's in the side chat right now. Caroline Kane posted it. Copy it, write it down, tattoo it on your butt, whatever you got to do. Have I answered the top 5 questions for everybody? Have I answered the questions at least everybody? How do I get the email from? Guys, you have to be a Privy client underneath Pace or Jamil. Please make sure Put the link in the chat one more time, Caroline, because there's people that are saying I don't have the access to the link. Just do it one more time for 30 seconds. I wish I could just like send out a Wi-Fi message to everybody and this stuff got downloaded in their brain, but we have to go over it so many times because what happens is in the side chat, people ask the same question so many times, which is perfectly fine. We're patient. We're happy to give you that. Side chat's over there. I've pinned it in YouTube if you're on YouTube as well. Where do I get the AirMeet link? I get it from Benson at Privy from being a client. Where do I get the replays? I get it from Benson at Privy for being a Privy client. How do I get on an accountability team? How do I get on a team so I don't get left behind? How do I make sure that I have people to do my homework with? That is going to be told, and you're going to be shown how to do that tomorrow. This challenge is going to be big. We are breaking a world record, and it is compounding into something that is super exciting, and people just want to be a part of it because of the movement, the progression they felt last week. It is a little bit more than what we planned, which is amazing. That's a great thing. It means you're part of a big group of action takers. So what's going to happen is tomorrow, I'm going to bring Carly on the live with us, and we're going to show you guys how to get put on an accountability team. That team will have homework. You guys will meet together. You guys will hang out together. You will communicate with each other offline and do your homework together. You will have a transaction coordinator, a gator lender, or maybe even upwards of 10 gator lenders per group, because obviously there's going to be a lot of deals being done. And then you're going to have at least 5 sub-2 students as leaders in each accountability group. Okay. If you are a sub-2 student and you want to lead these groups, you understand you're going to be doing a lot of deals with a lot of people and you want to be in that flow. You want to be somebody helping and leading this amazing challenge. Please go into the private sub-2 Facebook group and get Carly's email and send Carly an email and say, Carly, how do I become a leader of one of these groups? I feel like I've answered the top 5 questions a couple of times. I feel confident that everybody knows what to do. I'm going to answer this one last time and I'm going to pass it back over. How do I make sure I'm underneath Jamil or Pace? There's a link right now in Zoom. You guys can look at it right now. We've paused the chat for a moment. You can look in YouTube if you're on YouTube, and it has been pinned. Go through that link, fill out the form. Benson will make sure you are put underneath Pace, Laura, etc., so that you can receive all further communications. Going forward, it is super important that you're getting these emails from Benson. So please do not report them as spam or whatever, because future challenges next month, what I see and I envision is there are people in here, even brand new students that are brand new sub-2 students that joined last week or yesterday, might not be ready to lead a team yet. And that's perfectly fine. That's why we're not going to end this challenge this week and be done with it. Next month, your goal is to try and lead a team. And the next month, your goal is to lead a team. If you're still not there and you still don't have the confidence, you stick with us. You keep going. At some point, everybody in here, I'm going to open up the chat because I want to see the sentiment and the feeling to this question. How many people have a goal of not only getting their first deal, their second deal, or what have you, but you have a goal of helping hundreds of other people get their first deals because of your leadership and your go-giver attitude? This is far further, and this is going to go far further than just you learning how to comp, submit deals, etc. This is a part of your guys' purpose is being here, learning how to become a leader by watching the existing sub-2 leaders, gator lenders, and transaction coordinators love on you, be patient with you, not leave you behind, so that at some point you can elevate and become a leader yourself. Are we all on the same page? We kind of starting to barely scratch the surface on catching the vision of this amazing, amazing challenge that we're doing. Okay, very cool. Very, very, very cool. Proud of you guys. We've moved forward. I've answered the common questions. Tomorrow, we will give you accountability groups. Tomorrow, you will know who your leaders are. Tomorrow, we will give you the AirMeet link for everybody that is a Privy client, and we are all going to move forward. So Benson is now going to take over the screen again. We're going to take a step back a couple of minutes and re-go over the numbers one more time so everybody can follow along. Okay. Make sure. Okay. Jordan Sutter says the form doesn't have the Pace and Jamil option. Is there something on there that just answers that question? They'll be put underneath one of the accounts, I imagine.
I've just put them on a list that's called Elephant Challenge. So it's anybody that has the Elephant Challenge, they get invited.
Okay, very cool. Love it. All right, very cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Benson, the floor is yours again. I just wanted to clear the air. Thank you guys so much for being patient.
Thank you for clearing that stuff up. Cool. So let me start from baseline. The reason why this is important, you guys, is I want to show you, I want to compare and contrast how you might submit offers if you weren't using Privy and the data that we have available, and what it's like when you do have the data. All right. So this house that came on the market, you probably would have used some formula, right? And formulas are great in a pinch, but at the end of the day, they're not serving you. They're causing you to write super low ball offers. They're causing you to write offers that people are never going to accept. And it's giving you kind of unrealistic expectations about what a deal really is, because a deal isn't what your calculator says it is. A deal is who are these guys again? Radix Realty is willing to buy. That's what a deal is. So get in your mind that it's not universal. You have to have a deal that makes sense for a specific client. Okay?
The buyer determines the price of a house every single time. 100% of the time, the buyer determines the price. That's such a great point. You guys should write that down, because that's what he's showing you right now. He's showing you how to determine what a buyer is going to buy in your specific area. Okay. Don't come in here with some, 70% of retail minus repairs thing. What Benson is teaching you right now is how to identify and find a deal in your market and what a deal looks like. Okay. What are buyers actually willing to pay in your specific market? That is what he's going through right now.
Yep. And you guys, it's not what you think. That's what's one of the coolest things about this is you're like, oh my God, it's not as hard as I thought it was. Like, we are also conditioned to think that we have to get something at 20% or 30% of the ARV for it to be worth going after. You're passing up on so many opportunities that are right in front of your face because you're looking right past them at the shiny object, which is what some fake guru told you to go chase. Here's what a real deal is. $435,000 is what they actually sold the property for. That's the after repair value. If we do the 70% MAO formula, we would multiply that by 0.7, which gives us $304,500. Now, the next step is to subtract out the construction costs. So that we can estimate that is based off of those different tiers of construction levels I told you about earlier. And we estimated on a kind of a middle of the level, it would be about $35 a square foot. So we would take the square footage of the home, which is up here. We also have it down here. It's 1,624 square feet. If we multiply that by $35, that gives us $56,840. This is what it would cost to reno this. Now, we could take it even a step further and add in a contingency, maybe 5, 10, 15%. Let's just use this for the sake of this explanation. So 56,000. So we were at 304,000 before, and now we have to subtract out that construction cost. So we're going to subtract out 56,840, which gives us 247,000. Well, we're not doing this for free, right? Let's say we are going to wholesale it. Maybe there's many other exit strategies. If you're a fix and flipper, well, this is what you could offer on a property and not have to worry about paying a wholesaler. But listen, majority of us here are looking at a wholesale strategy. So let's go ahead and subtract out $15,000, which is kind of the number that PACE always shoots for. So $15,000. So that brings us down to $232,000. So if you used kind of the standard 70% maximum allowable offer formula on this property that you found on the MLS, you would have likely offered around $232,000. Well, that's interesting, right? Because the actual buyer that flipped it was willing to offer $286,000. So what's the difference there? If we subtract out 286,000, an actual buyer in a market was willing to offer $53,000 more than somebody who was using a universal formula. Can you see how that's affecting the acceptance rate of your offers, whether they're on market, whether they're off market, no matter the source? If the 70% MEL formula is the only thing you have to be able to determine your offer strategy, you're missing out on a lot of opportunities. Think about how many times you've used that. I don't want to make you feel bad, but think about how many times you've used that before and they didn't even call you back, or they ghosted you, or they just said no, thank you. It's because you were so ridiculously low that there was no chance they were going to accept that. So that's the lesson here, you guys, is that you actually want to offer based off of what Radix, companies like Radix are willing to buy. And now that we know that Radix is willing
Benson,
to pay,
I've got 5 people in the side chat saying, say it again. So hold on a second. Let me pull up Donna Klein or maybe Tigger, one of the two, and have them clarify of where they got lost. Donna, what do you got for us?
Okay. So, I got confused. All right. I'm trying to figure out how I got confused.
I'm going to bring Tigger up on here too, Donna, just to coach your memory. Okay. Tigger. What do you got? You got to unmute yourself, Tigger.
I got it. I think where I got confused is where he's saying another person offered 53,340 less. So how did you figure that?
So what he's trying to coach you on there, Tigger, and correct me if I'm wrong, Benson, but what he's trying to coach you on is that in the general real estate wholesale world, okay, you go on YouTube, you go pay $10,000 to a wholesale coach. What they're teaching you to do is utilize a formula that is like 70. You go look at like Zillow price, okay? And what you do is you take that Zillow price and you take 70% of it and subtract the renovation, and that is what your offer should be. What Benson is trying to tell you is that if you use that formula, you will lose a lot of offers. That's what he's trying to show you. And so what he was telling you in that thing that confused you is that one person would use the formula to submit an offer and they would not have gotten the deal. Somebody else utilizing Privy, and instead of using this formula over here that is commonly used on YouTube, it's in books, it's in friggin' publications, it's on YouTube like crazy. People put in their mentorship. Some of the biggest names in the wholesale industry use a standard formula that does not work nationwide. So that number that he quoted is what's confusing you, because he immediately went and quoted another number that said, do you see how Privy actually annihilates that formula? Because what it shows you is what your buyers in your market are actually willing to pay. Okay, so he's using an example that is commonly used incorrectly. Everybody, I could list a bunch of names that you know and hear of, people that you have learned wholesale from that are like, all right, take the Zillow number, which is ARV, right? After repair value, the full retail number of that house, multiply it by 70%, and then reduce it by your construction costs. And there you go. There's a good blanket way to comp a property. Or to come up with an offer price, a good way to come up with an offer price. What Benson is saying is that is a flawed model, because Privy actually shows you what your buyers are willing to pay. And sometimes they're willing to pay 80%. So going by a formula and then submitting lowball offers to agents on market deals, meanwhile, you have buyers over here willing to pay higher amounts, but you don't know that because you are using a standardized 70% off of retail number and then reducing your construction costs can lose you a lot of opportunities and money. Do you now understand what he was saying?
Gotcha. Okay.
Was that helpful for everybody else too?
Yeah, thanks for that, Tigger. I get ahead of myself because I get so excited. Like, this stuff to me it's exciting because it's like you're pulling the curtain back and you can actually see like what's going on here. And it's not as mysterious as you think it is. It's just a matter of, paying attention to what the numbers tell you. It tells you a story. And if you're open to it and your paradigm will totally shift, right? And this is only one example. The other thing that we subtracted out the assignment fee, right? So that would include the money you would put in your pocket. This is why people aren't winning offers, is because they were coming in at 232 on this same house when the actual flipper who you're going to sell the property to anyway on an assignment was willing to pay 286,000. So that's just one example, right? And that's radix, right? So radix, when I go and I'm building my buyers list, I want radix on my list. So I'm going to do whatever I can to find radix, reach out to them, introduce myself, explain to them what my business model is, learn more about their buy box, their buying criteria, so that we can really narrow down if that 68% was a one-off, or is it something they're typically doing? You know, they might say, oh yeah, that's our standard. Or they might say, you know what, we only did it on that one house because, it matched a bunch of other deal criteria and we were willing to go a little bit higher. But typically we want to be at 65% or lower. And so that happens by first uncovering to see what's going there, and then actually going and doing the business, which is building relationships. The whole disposition side of the business in the real estate wholesale world is mostly about relationships, like really getting the good sense of what they want, giving it to them on a silver platter, making sure they have what they need to be successful, and moving from there. So here's an example of another one. This one wasn't also an MLS deal. Right now, it's showing the street view. In Dallas and in other Texas towns, they're starting to pull these photos, but it's from the MLS. If you're working in a direct to MLS market, you'll see the number here. Otherwise, it'll say public record if it was purchased directly from the homeowner. So here's another cool thing. This is another piece of local market intelligence that you could add to what you're learning there, is that, oh my gosh, somebody bought something for 51% of the ARV from the MLS. And we know the radix will go up to 68%. That's a 17% margin. Like, oh my gosh. Like, so what we're saying is, if we could have gotten this property, there's a chance we could have wholesaled it to radix with the 17% margin. Like that's plenty of room there to get some money for yourself, right? Plenty of money there. Even if they said, well, you know what, we only went up to 68% because it was this unique situation. We like to be at 60%. You're like, oh, darn, 60%. I can't find anything lower than that. Well, you could if you looked at the MLS, you look at Privy, this one's at 51%. So they're on the MLS, you can find them, and there are buyers out there that are willing to buy stuff from the MLS at higher percentages than you thought. So this is where we start to connect the dots. We're like, okay, we're starting to kind of formulate a plan here. We know that radix and other companies will pay a little bit higher. We know that there's stuff on the MLS that we can get. We just need to start finding it. Well, how do we find it? Well, we use the algorithm. So right over here.
Hold on. Now I want to pause for a second and show people what we just did. Okay. So everybody in their mind can mentally check this box. Okay. Everybody pay attention to me, please. Whatever market you're choosing, utilizing Privy, your first job is to go into that market and find what buyers have paid, okay, for their deals. You're going to find actual buyers. That's what Benson just showed you. He showed you what actual buyers have paid percentage-wise for deals. Okay? So our first homework tonight, okay, if you are, most people are already on, I almost don't want to give homework away tonight because people are going to lose their mind because they're not on an accountability group yet. We won't give you homework tonight except get familiar, maybe watch this again. Maybe that's the homework, is to watch. Here's what we'll do. Homework for tonight. We're going to give you guys a video to rewatch tomorrow in the morning so that when we come back here tonight, you guys have kind of refamiliarized yourself with some stuff. But here's what Benson just did. He went into his market, okay, that he chose based on activity. Okay, he showed you how to go in and find areas that have a lot of activity. Activity is a good thing, not a bad thing. Activity means a lot of competition, a lot of people to do deals with, okay? Guys, if I appreciate you guys so much, but like Joel, brother, your questions, I love you. You have great questions, but your questions are not great for tonight. You're asking questions unrelated to what we're doing. A typical Joel move, which I do love, and it's fun to answer those questions, but you're asking questions about, do you guys use 1% rent rule for places with no comps? Joel, this is a challenge. We're trying to go as slow as possible. Please. Okay. Also, if people are putting stuff in the side chat like Nelson Xavier talking about, hey, Nevada Accountability Group that just posted WhatsApp link, repost the WhatsApp link. Guys, we're going to give you the accountability stuff tomorrow. Stop trying to move so fast and so forward that you guys go and create your own little groups. I promise you tomorrow, if you have patience, you will be put on a group. Okay? Stop it. One of the reasons why you are floundering and you are lost is because you cannot wait 2 minutes to get to the next step. And then you go, I'm lost. Yeah, some of it, sometimes, okay? So I'm turning off the chat. Oh my gosh, you guys got to earn the chat, okay? You guys need to learn one thing at a time. Stop thinking you need to know everything all at the same exact time. All Benson's done is open up Privy. I'm turning the chat off for the rest of the night, unfortunately. I really don't like that. It's not how I roll. I've never had to do that with just my sub 2 students, but this is what happens when you bring in people that maybe are trying to move a little bit too fast. You got to go slower, guys. You got to go slower. Joel, I love your questions. I don't mean to criticize you. I'm not criticizing you. I'm just pointing out the fact that you move a little too fast. You got that engineer brain. You can't help yourself. You want to be 18 steps ahead, and we're just right here going slow. We're just trying to do one thing tonight. What Benson just went through is he went through his market. Which market are you in? Dallas, Texas. He found an area that has heavy activity. He circled it on his map, and he found sold comps that investors have flipped. And he has then clicked around and found what people in that market are buying deals for so that he gets a pulse of what's going on in his market. That's all we've done. He's got a pulse of what people are buying in that market. So instead of you using a formula that people have, put into their mentorships and books and YouTube videos, very similar to the 1% rule that is irrelevant, does not make sense to any rental investor, Joel. I don't really know that many investors that follow the 1% rule. It's outdated. It was a YouTube video that blew up when it should not have blown up. That's where that 1% rule came from. Okay. So instead of using a formula that's outdated and does not make sense to every market, what Benson is showing you is how to go into your chosen market, circle an area like he has on the screen, and find actual data that tells you what investors will pay for a house. Now that box has been checked. We now know what that looks like. You can zoom in on an area, circle an area, let the comps pull up, you click on stuff, and you see what percentages people are buying them for. Tomorrow, what I will do is I will show you guys how to call these people and have these conversations. I will give you a script, and we will give you those things so you can do them yourself, okay? What Benson is now going to do is Benson is now going to say, how can I go on Privy now that I know what buyers are paying in the market? And how can I go find an on-market deal that I can submit an offer for, and I can move forward with making offers in my business? Is that, Benson, is that the direction we're heading?
It absolutely is. Yep.
So guys, I'm going to open up the chat. Do not ask questions unless it pertains to what we're talking about, or else I have to turn the chat off again. What we're talking about is just getting people to a point where we can find an opportunity to submit an offer on. Give me a yes if you understand what we are doing. Okay. Thank you. Does everybody appreciate that we're just trying to stay on task? We don't want to leave anybody behind. And when you got Joel, the engineer brain over there, asking questions about how much fuel does the Tesla rocket ship have to use to land on the moon? Joel, I don't know the answer to that question, nor does it help anybody submit offers. Okay. So let's focus on what is going to help us. And I love Joel. Everybody give Joel a little bit of love. He asks some of the best questions. Literally, he's so amazing. But let's make sure we stay on topic. All right, Benson, let's go through and show everybody how they can go and mess around with Privy between today and tomorrow and find an opportunity that is available through Privy right now.
Awesome. So the way that we were able to display this information is by our comping algorithms, right? So when our system pulls up a house, it's actually going in and it's pulling comps on it, right? And that's very helpful for determining value. Right? These are all the properties that were normal sales, fix and flips, everything's here, but the algorithm is making sure we're looking at like properties. Comps means comparable, means similar, right? So after we eliminate all the houses that are not similar, then whatever's left over is the actual similar homes that we can use to try to find margins, right? So a deal is if we can buy a house less than what we know we can sell it for after it's been fixed up and sold, right? So that comping algorithm is an important piece of that. So that's happening for every property in our system. Now, you don't have to understand the mechanics of that, but you just need to know that the system is actually doing that for you. It's doing a lot of that heavy lifting for you, so you can focus on, the important stuff like writing offers, right? So is it a couple different ways you could do this? You could actually go in and search for deals in this area by using our filter. And you would just kind of manipulate this, and you could switch it to active and then add in any other kind of filters that you want and eventually get to what you want. Right now, there's some subtleties to this thing, and you could learn it in like 10 minutes, but we've added some really cool, easy buttons for you. So right here at the top, once you click the fix and flip button, this one shows up, this big green find similar active deals button. What it's going to do is it's going to take these homes that were recently fix and flipped, and it's going to use those as a model for what a successful deal looks like in this general area. So all we got to do is come in and click this button, and then it's going to search for deals right here. So let's go ahead and click find similar active deals.
The green button, okay.
The big green button. So the system's going in, it's looking for similar active deals that we can buy in this area. Now, I actually want to add in a couple other filters here so we can be a little bit more narrow about what we're looking for. And I won't get into the details of what I'm doing right now because we could spend all night, but I want to show you just kind of how simple it is. So let's say we didn't want to spend more than 500 grand. Maybe we talked to Radix, I think they were called, something like that. And they said, we want properties lower than 500,000. You're like, okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and put that in our filter here. And then maybe they tell you a couple other things like well, we want at least 3 bedrooms or 3 bathrooms. You can really curate these filters to specifically what your people want. And then maybe they said, well, 68% is where they were at before, right? So we wanted a little bit lower than that. So let's lower it to say 65%, 3% below what we know they've purchased in at least one situation at 68%, right? So there's a margin there. So if we can find something that's less than 65%, there's a possibility we could assign it or wholesale it to them at 68%. So let's go ahead and run this. And now we got a handful of properties here that could be potential deals. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of these. So here's this house that's for sale for 269 grand.
Maria Wheeler says she missed the timeline button. What does that mean?
Timeline button. Well, we didn't adjust the timeline, but this is the timeline down here. She might have been talking about the percentage of ARV button, which definitely warrants a deeper explanation.
Let me give it 30 seconds on it. So anybody that's brand new, we kind of, this challenge has gotten super popular. And unfortunately, normally in our challenges, we lock people out. Oh, Maria Willer says, no, I was wondering why there's a timeline. Let me just touch on the ARV thing for anybody who doesn't understand what ARV is. Normally we lock the challenges out so that we don't get questions 3 days, 4 days, 6 days, 7 days into the challenge that were answered on day 1 and 2. But this challenge got so popular, as you guys can see, so a little bit challenging, and that's okay. We're trying to change the world. We're trying to do a lot of cool things, so it's going to require some patience. What he's changed on that ARV is the value of the property is ARV, right? If I go and fix and flip a property, I put money into it and it's beautiful. It looks like the other houses that have sold in the neighborhood, and the value of that house is now $400,000. That is the ARV, the after repair value. Okay. So when we say ARV, it's one of the most common phrases, acronyms that you will need to know in this business. You need to write down ARV. Okay. Write down ARV on your piece of paper. If you don't know what it means after repair value, or it is your retail value. Okay. What he's doing is he's sliding how much of the retail value he wants to go down to. The lower the percentage he does on that timeline, that means the better the deal you're going to be able to get. However, if you take it all the way to 0, you're not going to get any deals because there's no homeowners selling houses at 0% of retail value. Okay. So what you've got to do is slide it to where you feel comfortable. That's going to end up being a personal judgment, or you slide it based on what your buyers in that market are willing to pay. So in step 1, what Benson did is he found out there were buyers. Jonathan De Moya, you said, what's a good range for ARV? We've already answered that, but let me show you why and how. We looked at what buyers were already paying for in that market by looking at sold deals. Does that make sense? So we're going to look what other buyers have been paying for houses based on percentages. And then we go in and adopt the timeline change to be in according to that. Does that make sense, guys? Now,
go ahead.
Now, people are asking questions about timeline, and they're saying, why aren't we using a timeline? Guys, Benson has limited time. It's 10 o'clock his time in St. Louis. Okay?
I'm in Denver. It's 9.
Oh, he's in Denver. I'm sorry. It's 9 o'clock in Denver. He's not going to go through and educate everybody on every little part of the software. Okay? He's going to give you the things that we need to know to find a deal tonight. Does that make sense?
I'm going to chime in here because I think everybody has a TikTok brain like me. And I think people are struggling to pay attention when Benson's talking. If you guys struggle to be an active listener like I have in the past, this is a trick that has helped me. When you hear Benson speaking or when you hear Pace speaking, literally repeat what they say in your head and you will retain it more. Also, guys, be taking notes here. Benson is dropping a lot of gold for you. What you write is what you invite in your brain. So if you guys just sit here and listen to it and consume, you're not going to retain it. If you're taking little notes, they don't have to be verbatim. You don't have to have the entire sentence, but get the main points down on notes and then repeat what Benson is saying in your head. You will absorb this so much more. Don't multitask. When you multitask, you do not do a great job of paying attention. So if you're struggling to pay attention and this is new to you and it's a different language, repeat what Benson is saying in your head and you will retain it so much more.
Last thing I'll say is, by the way, Benson can find a deal in less than 20 seconds using Privy. It's taking us 2 weeks to get to that point. Literally in 20 seconds, he can find a deal. Okay. We're going slow for you guys and being patient. I'm going to turn the chat off so we can focus on what he's doing. So please be an active listener, Benson, the floor is yours.
And you guys, by the time we get through this and you get a little better with the tool, you'll be finding deals in 20 seconds too. So just stay with us here. Be patient. It will happen for you. There's some subtleties here and there's some things you'll figure out. I'm going to give you guys a video after we finish up that if you want to go back and watch some of this stuff from beginning to end in like a short, like 10-minute little video that you can watch all night and tomorrow. It's going to walk you step by step through what I'm doing right now, but just kind of in real time. Okay. So thank you for that. So just in general, when Pace mentioned that property that was at $400,000, if I had left this here, then what that means is if I multiply that by 0.75, that means if I could find properties at $300,000, then that property would be at 75% of the ARV, 300,000 to 75 to 400,000. Okay. So this is the kind of in general what we're doing. This is going to compare the ask price of the home, the price it's listed, to the price of the comps. And the price is listed is lower in this case than 300,000. And we have other fix and flips in the area that sold for more than 400,000. Then our system's going to say, hey, that looks like a deal. We got some supporting data that says this thing can be a deal. And then what we do is we dig in and we look at the comparables, because what's there on the comparables are the ones that are most similar beds, baths, square footage, stories, all those sort of things. So we're really kind of zeroing this in. If this is something that you would do kind of manually, you guys, I know how difficult it is to find deals. This is going to be so simple for you. When you get this aha moment, it's going to change your entire life. I guarantee it. So the next step here is we knew based off of what we researched that Radix was willing to go to up to 68% in at least one scenario. So I'm going to lower this to below 68. We could go to 67, but we'll just do 65 here. Okay, so that's a 3% difference. If we can find something lower, there's a potential deal that we could wholesale or assign to the Radix company. I'm not going to get into timelines, anything else. That's all stuff we can discuss in our trainings. We do those twice a week. We had one earlier today. The next one is Thursday. So if you want to join us on that one, you're more than welcome. Let's look at this property right here that we found.
So you clicked on this filter and you dialed it down to 65% of the potential retail value, and you still had how many deals popped up? 54 opportunities at 65% or lower.
There's 54 opportunities with some data that says that property has data that makes it worth looking at, right? Because the data is there that will support that percentage of after repair value.
I like this step. I don't want to add another one, but I'm going to tell you what I do in this situation is I will find my buyer like we did at the very beginning of this live. I'll find out what percentage of ARV they're willing to pay. In this situation, we found out they were willing to pay 68% of the house's future value. And you then came in here and went to 65. You still have 54 opportunities at 65%. So what I do, especially if I'm limited on time, if you guys are out there, you have a 9-to-5 job, you've got kids, you've got obligations, I would actually try and take all those opportunities down a little bit by lowering my percentage of ARV, maybe down closer to 60 or even 55%. So I don't have 54 properties to look at. Those are all potential opportunities. But if you're limited on time, you want to narrow down your search results to deals that have deeper ARVs. A little bit more competitive. They're going to be getting more calls. They're going to be getting a lot more people negotiating those numbers. But if you're limited on time, it's a smart little thing just to slide that down a little bit.
It is. There's another thing here that will help narrow it down, which is different than just lowering it, which is looking for that next level of the 4-star comp, which is you want comps that were flipped. So this property right here, we do have a comparable that says it's worth looking at. So if you go in here and we look at comparables, we got this house right here, really super close, that just sold for $442,000. And it's built in the same year. It's got one extra bathroom. We could make an adjustment for that. This is within 15%. That's at 61% of the ARV. So that is 4% lower than what we set the filter at, right? Now, we don't have before and after data on this house, so we don't know if it was flipped, right? So we have that Privy preferred filter. This little badge right here tells us that at least one of the houses that we use to find this deal, one of the comparables that shows the margin, has before and after data and was likely flipped. So for those of you that were part of the initial conversations with Pace, we talked about that 4-star comparable. Now we've got properties here where there was at least one house that was renovated. They got it for 168, sold it for 461. So that, see what happens there is that jumps down 54% now. So we can buy at 249 and a house in the same neighborhood sold for 461.
Damn,
So
that's a good deal.
That's 9% lower, or was that 11% lower than where we set the filter. So what we would do is we would find the ones that we like, you know, isolate those and then come back and analyze them. You guys, this is just one market. This is just one market. So let's say I've got some filters up here that I've saved, right? Let's go ahead and let's run this in Indy. So Indianapolis was a market that I told you guys you should potentially consider. Okay, so let's look at the Indy market. So we switched over to another market, and in a flash, now this is showing us potential deals in Indy. Now we didn't go in and do all of our research yet, but here's a cool little trick. Remember I told you about this filter right here. This is showing us that this house has a potential margin, and based off of the data that's available, we come down to the comparable section. This house right here that we flagged
a verified Privy stamp, right?
Privy preferred. Yeah, we prefer these because now we're comparing a property to a house that was renovated. Now this would violate the comping rules, with our 12-step rules, which is going after active comps. This is an active comp, you guys. So we wouldn't want to pull a trigger on this one unless we could find other data that could help with this, because this one hasn't sold yet. It's under contract. Actually, it's active on the market for 4 days. Now there's potentially some other data here we could use, because we've hidden other homes that we could potentially use for comparables. So if I click this little button here that says all activity, now I'm finding other properties that we could potentially use. So this one is at 152. This one is at 159, 190. Right, this house is at 190. And the reason why we didn't show it before is because this house doesn't have a basement and this one does. But see now what happens to the numbers here, 59%. And that was renovated. So there is a potential margin here on this house. 1, 2, 3 houses that were fixed and flipped. That's the ultimate goal, you guys, when you use the strategy I'm showing you. We call it the reverse REI strategy. We actually have a patent pending on it. That reverse REI strategy, what it does is it puts you and your strategy in the middle of where all your comparables are located, where your buyers are at, where you have the data to be able to prove after repair value. When it drops you right in the middle there, the likelihood of you having comps that were renovated and you finding that 4-star comp is higher. And when you've got a bunch of houses that were flipped that were comparable of yours, it makes it so much easier for you to determine, is it a deal or not, right? Because we're still learning. And even if you've been doing this for 10 years, you don't want to keep, massaging these numbers and digging down deep to try to figure out if it's a deal or not. When you got 3 houses that were fixed and flipped that are comparables of yours right in the same general area, it makes it so much more simple. And that's what we're trying to do here, is to get you to success quicker. The fastest path to actually getting a deal done is leveraging these renovated comparables to prove value on this property to yourself, so you think it's a deal, but also at some point, once you get this thing under contract, you're going to have to prove to somebody else that it's a deal too. Your buyer, an appraiser,
Your lender.
a lender, right?
I love this. What I liked about the DFW area where you were at is that you added that filter. You had 54 properties just in that little circle. Okay. And what I tell people is, here's our KPI. Okay. Caroline, I don't know if you're the one that does this, that allows me to share my screen only by myself. Is that you that does that?
Yeah, that's me. Hang on, give me a second.
What are you doing? Are you just removing?
I'm just
everybody?
removing
Okay.
I'm just removing everybody.
So what I want everybody to pay attention to, we talked about this over the weekend as an expectation of being in this business, is what you're going to do is through Privy, the goal is for you to make 25 offers per week. Okay. This is what I'm seeing with newer people. Okay. There's some other people that will submit more offers because they don't have a 9-to-5 job, right? Or there's people that will submit fewer offers because they maybe spend a lot more time analyzing. But the average I see for a newbie with a 9-to-5 job, limited time, is that on a weekly basis, you absolutely 100% can submit 25 offers. The expectation of those 25 offers is that you should get one house under contract. Okay. And if you do that 4 weeks in a row, you are going to end the month with 4 contracts. Sounds simple, right? So that's 100 offers for 4 contracts. That's what I'm seeing with newer people. What I love about this is if you are using a transaction coordinator and somebody who can be your quarterback on the paperwork and helping you out with the transactions, what I'm finding is that 2 of these contracts will actually close and you will get paid. The other 2, you can't control it, guys. In this business, sometimes deals fall apart because the seller we find out that there's a child support lien or an IRS lien or something on the property that you have no control over, okay? Sometimes there's a probate issue or some other legal issue you have no control over. This happens when you're submitting and buying houses, especially in distressed situations, okay? So if you have a transaction coordinator and you have 4 contracts, you end the month with 2 closed contracts. The average amount of money for in the United States for an assignment all over the US, the average is $15,000 per contract is what you will make. That's average. Some are 25, some are 2, some are 12, some are 32. It doesn't matter, but it averages out around 15,000. That means if you can submit 100 offers, okay, we decided that it was good for us to.
No, sorry, ignore that.
Okay. So 100 offers equals $30,000 on average for somebody who is newer. Okay. What I liked about what Benson showed is just in that DFW area, there's 54 potential deals that you could make an offer on. That means that there are 2 deals or 2 contracts in those 45 potentials. If you submitted an offer on all 54 of those, you talked to the agent, you talked to your buyer, and you went and submitted offers on those 54 potentials, there's 2 contracts in there. Okay. This is all over the freaking country. No matter what market you jump into, there's potential. That was one little zip code in just DFW. So when you're getting going in this business, it is very easy for you to make I shouldn't say it's easy. It's simple. Okay. It's simple for you to go and make $30,000 a month just by following a very simple expectation of submitting 25 offers a week. That's it. 25 offers a week. The last expectation I'll give you is you should be able to submit 25 offers a week in about 3 hours per day. So for 15 hours per week, okay, would you guys be happy with making about $30,000 a month as you're just kind of getting started in your first quarter or first month, 2 months, 3 months in this business? If you just focused your time and attention on making 25 offers per week? That is what we're trying to show you.
I see a lot of smiles out there. They're like, yeah.
I don't know,
You
man.
just gave them a perfect plan. Like there's no, like, how do we do it anymore? You just gave them the perfect roadmap.
Yeah, we talked about this roadmap for, I don't know, probably an hour or so over the weekend. And we really made sure everybody understood the expectations of what this business is. And you also have to understand, something very important as well. You are going to encounter a lot of agents. We talked about this. Jose Calvillo obviously has just joined the challenge. He missed Saturday's training and Sunday's training where we talked about agents. Spent a lot of time talking about agents and the expectations of talking with agents. Okay. So no problem. No problem. Okay. So guys, here's the thing. This is why we're putting this group together. There's not only thousands of cash deals that we are going to do as a group, but there are thousands of creative finance deals we're going to do as a group. There are thousands of relationships we're going to create as a group, all because of this fantastic tool that Benson has built out. It is absolutely special. What he showed you tonight is go in and find people who had sold deals, see what they're paying on percentage of ARV in that little area by circling it, and then go in there and change the gauge to say, I only want to look at fix and flip opportunities that fix this deal. Okay. Lisa Parker, who has trepidation, she says, besides Privy, I understand why she's asking this question, but Lisa, please don't send me private messages. It gets other people in the chat. I do want to clarify this with you just real quick, because I think you have a really great question. Lisa Parker, how you doing? It's like, oh crap, I'm being called out. Yes, you are, Lisa. How you doing?
Hi, honey. Doing good.
Really good. I assume you're asking the question because you're like, okay, well, is there like an upsell or a mentorship or like
Absolutely.
a mastermind or something that somebody's going to try and sell me?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So Lisa, have you not known me that long?
I haven't. Nope.
Okay. Then I'm going to let the side chat answer the question for you. Guys, am I one of those guys? Am I one of the very, very few, if not only maybe 3 people in this entire industry that I do not push my mentorship? In fact, I tell you not to join my mentorship and only work with my students.
Oh, okay.
So do you see this side chat blowing up?
I do.
Do you think I could pay that many people to promote me and
no,
stand by my side?
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Okay, so
I just wasn't sure if there still was something that needed to be done besides that.
At the very beginning of this, I said I feel bad that you are going to have to spend some money, but the only thing I will ask you to spend money on is this one tool.
Oh, you did say that. You did say that. Absolutely.
I know sometimes I say things, but the context is missing, which is why I like to bring you up and have you ask the question, because it's a very valid question.
Okay. And I didn't mean to direct message you. I didn't realize I clicked on that. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, don't ever be sorry. If I ever sound like I'm upset, I'm not. I just really want people to understand that a lot of people don't know that they're sending me a DM, but I'm trying to coach people along, and it gets better and better and better and better and better as we go. But again, ask anybody. I'm not a scammer. I'm not a promoter.
Oh, I don't know. I know somebody has highly recommended you. I don't think that at all. I just thought I was missing something.
You are definitely not missing something. You will also never see somebody give as much as me. And so what happens a lot is people have this feeling when somebody's giving as much and as repetitively and consistently as me, that there's got to be a catch. Guys, has anybody ever been caught in a catch with Pace? Have you guys ever been taken advantage of, or anything I've ever said has been other than
nope. Awesome.
By the way, I paid all of these people $10,000.
I know you did. Can
we
I
set this up? Really, really great question. Very, very valid. Thank you for asking the question. I'm sure other people benefited from that. Thank you so much.
Honey. Thank you.
So, guys, there's a reason why I have a free Facebook group. Okay. There's a reason why, and here's the other thing too. Why do I do all this? Why do I do all of this? Well, part of it's ego, to be honest. I want to do stuff that nobody else has ever done before. I want to conquer worlds. I want to do stuff that other people are like, look what they did. Is that so bad? Okay, so that's partly ego. That's the bad side. The good side is that this year I will buy probably $50 million in real estate in my own portfolio without any partners. And by being part of syndications and funds and other things, I'll be part of another $150 million in real estate transactions this year from having change happen in the real estate world and being somebody who is directing that change. What ends up happening is I end up buying deals from people that I teach how to go get deals. In fact, Robin is a girl I'm doing a deal with right now. She's on the screen. Sandra White. Let me ask Sandra White just real quick. This is also my ego, just real quick. Let's see if Sandra White has ever been scammed by me. Sandra, how you doing? It's like, Pace, I didn't want to be called out tonight. How you doing, Sandra?
Dude, gotta put my hat on.
Sandra, have you learned how to go out and do deals in my mentorship?
Hell yeah.
Have you and I done deals together because of what you were taught and the action that you took?
Multiple. I think we're on our 3rd right now.
But you must have been with me for 5 years. That's how we've done 3 deals together.
3.5 months. Go
3.5
take
months.
action. It's amazing. 3.5
So
months.
you are a part owner of a multifamily deal with me that we've just worked a 30 unit multifamily seller finance deal in Corpus Christi. We just got under contract. You and I have done we've done a cash deal together, and we did a sub 2 deal where we saved a homeowner from foreclosure. The guy was crying about how much you and your partner helped him.
Yeah. So
Is
great.
anything I say or do bullshit?
Not an ounce.
And you've been trying to find it, haven't you?
I think there's nothing there. Like I know it sounds or maybe appears that you can't believe it's true, but it is. It's the final place you need to be, guys. This is it. It's awesome.
The most important part of this, guys, is that I come from a big family of 12 children. I know how important a big family is. And we all fill in the gaps with each other. And that is what we're building here. We're building that. My ego is going to say, when I die on my headstone, it's going to say, go giver.
Yeah.
Don't even put my name on there. Just put go giver on there. My ego tells me I want to do cool things with cool people and do things that nobody else was willing to do. In fact, most of the influencer friends I have call me crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. You know, you should be charging for this stuff. Like, well, I'm buying real estate deals with the people I'm teaching how to do this. This is what I want. And then also there's a selfish part of me. Guys, I have worked so hard for 2.5 years inside my sub 2 mentorship, spending hours. Look at Caroline. She's there every day, consistently showing up every day. We do 21 support calls every damn week in sub 2. The reason why is so we can all do deals together. It's not actually that magic. It's just so uncommon that you think it's magic. In fact, it's what everybody should be doing in this world. Think about what Benson's doing. Guys, do you think we're helping out Benson's business at Privy? Are we all proud of doing that and helping a small business owner blow up his business? Are we all proud of that? We're also doing that for each other. This is why my sub 2 students, we attract absolute amazing go-givers, and they turn around and they help out people in the community. If you are a non-sub 2 student and you've done a deal with some of my students because of their tremendous hearts and their help and their understanding of creative finance and cash deals, say something in the chat. There are people that have had their lives changed, not because of me, but because people in my group turned around and helped them. That is what we are trying to do. Okay. It is what everybody should be doing. But fortunately for us, we get to be the ones that do it. That's freaking cool. And we got freaking a capitalist pig with us right now. It's amazing. I love this shirt, by the way, Benson.
It's a little raunchy, but it's fun.
I like it. I like it.
A little joy in my life. It's the small things, right?
Yes, it is. So here's what I'm thinking we do. I don't think we overwhelm anybody anymore. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I think we've shown you guys enough. What I think we should do is give people homework, Benson. There's going to be at least one video you want everybody to watch tomorrow morning. I think what we do is we rack our brains and we have one video. It's probably already a predetermined Benson Privy video that you've already laid out. Okay. And what I'm thinking we do is in the morning, I get you an AirMeet link for tomorrow's live. And you find a video that everybody has to watch for their homework that will answer some basic questions. And tomorrow I will submit an offer live and give everybody the homework to prep for Wednesday. I will submit an offer live with Robin tomorrow. Is everybody on the same page? We're going to submit an offer live tomorrow. We're going to show you what it looks like. The AirMeet tomorrow is going to be done at 5:30 Arizona time. I'm sorry that tonight we did it at 6:30 because I had wholesale hotline. Honor thy commitments. I had a commitment. I'm so sorry. I did it later. Okay. Tomorrow in 2 hours, I will show you guys exactly how to submit an offer through Privy, utilizing what you learned tonight. What I want you guys to do tomorrow is I want you guys to watch the one video that Benson's going to submit to you tomorrow, and I want you guys to register for the AirMeet. What is the homework, everybody? Put it in the side chat. What is your homework for tomorrow? Love it. Looks like everybody's got it. Now, tomorrow, there's a lot of people that are like, I have questions. I wasn't part of the training last week. There's people that are ahead of me. Tomorrow, not only am I going to submit an offer live, I'm going to call an agent, show you guys, I'm going to get my transaction coordinator on here. We're going to fill out an offer. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do it. But are we going to pair you guys up in accountability groups tomorrow? And are we going to give you leaders that can fill in the gaps for questions and concerns and issues you might have with learning the software and all of that kind of stuff? And then tomorrow, what we're also going to do is I'm going to sell Lisa on some massive mentorship package. I haven't created it yet, but I'm going to create it. It's going to be like $120,000. And everybody else is allowed in here except Lisa. She's got to sign up for the $120,000 package. No? Okay. Somebody said that's not a good idea. Okay, no problem.
She said, ha, 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 let's go.
Honestly, that was such a great question she had. I really appreciate you asking that question, Lisa. Jeremy Jackson, I appreciate it. He says, that's still worth every penny. Okay, cool. So our homework tonight is relax. Have fun. Make sure you have Privy. Make sure you are set up. By the way, let's do a quick check on this. Caroline, let's make sure we put the link in the side chat for everybody to make sure that they are part of this, that they are underneath the PACE link or the Jamil link by filling out the link. That's your only homework tonight, guys. Make sure you either sign up with Privy or you, if you already have Privy, make sure you're under either the Jamil account or the PACE account. Here's what will happen is in the future, this is no longer going to be called the Elephant Challenge. We're going to call it something else next month. It might be something like Robin Hurt is Awesome Challenge. Maybe it's, who knows? Maybe we won't call it the Capitalist
Pig Challenge.
The Capitalist Pig Challenge. Hi, Susie, the agent representing this deal. My name is Pace Morby, and I'm in this thing called the Capitalist Pig Challenge, and I'd like to submit an offer on your deal. No?
Click.
Okay, so we are going to come up with a challenge name. So in future months, as we compound and this gets stronger, better, faster, everything, more connected. Guys, do you feel like we're going to change a couple of people's lives in this challenge? What do you guys think?
I think it's already happened.
Does anybody feel 1% better than they did last week? Does anybody feel literally twice as strong as you did last week? Imagine where you'll be in a month from now, in 2 months from now. In fact, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell my team at Sub 2 that Lisa is not allowed to get into Sub 2 just to make sure she knows I'm never gonna sell her a mentorship. Hold on, let me make a message. Okay. I don't want you guys to join my mentorship. Work with my students. Work with my transaction coordinators. Work with my Gator lenders. We want to do deals with you.
Oh, you got a pretty good virtual assistant company too.
I do. But if I bring that up, then people think I'm trying to sell them on some shit.
Well, I'm just saying it because I've talked to some of the people over there, and you got some good cats running that company.
Yes, we do. We have some gangsters over there. Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap it up for the night. We've got our homework. Watch out for the link tomorrow morning. If you guys are Privy clients, you will get the email tomorrow. If you are a Sub 2 student, your homework for tonight is email Carly. If you want to be a leader of an accountability group, make sure you go into the private Facebook group in Sub 2. Email Carly. Her contact information is in the private Facebook group. Okay, somebody will DM me tonight and go, how do I get a hold of Carly? It's in the private Facebook group. Benson, sometime tomorrow morning, is going to send you your email. He's going to give you the AirMeet link if you are a Privy client, and he is also going to give you the homework assignment for tomorrow that you can watch while you're on your lunch break. You can watch when you get home, or you can watch right before we go into it, because what I want to do tomorrow is a lot less of the same questions, and I want to get right into submitting offers. Is everybody cool and stoked about that so that we can show you how to do it? All right.
I'm freaking excited, Pace. I'm excited. When I started out and I was in the mentorship, your YouTube dude, you didn't have this when I got new. If you're brand new, I'm so jealous of every single one of you.
That's a good point.
I'm jealous.
I was dropping bombs and amazing value, but you know what I was missing? Here's what I was missing, Caroline. One, I was missing you.
Oh.
I love you. I appreciate you. The other thing I was missing is an amazing kick-ass community in sub 2 that are all go-givers and leaders and will lead with value. I didn't have that. It was me, myself, and I.
It was pretty new.
Okay. And now we've got an amazing group. If you are a sub 2 student, please say something in the chat. Tell people you're here to lead. Tell people you're here to go give. Please tell people that you're here to help them out. Okay. We'll come up, guys, brainstorm on some good ideas, right? Brainstorm on some good challenge ideas, and we'll take a poll tomorrow on it. Okay. I feel bad not answering one question of the night. Christina Betancourt, I love your freaking smile and your energy always. So why don't you ask a question for the night, unless it's already been answered?
I hope it, can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Okay, awesome. Quick question. I think this question is for Benson. It's from the spreadsheet he gave us, the sub 2 market research. What with that information, I'm assuming that's the, like, what I'm going to determine what the investors in my market want. She said it, such a cutie. So I just wanted to see if Vincent could tell us how to interpret it so I can get the information from what the people in my market want. I'm not sure how to interpret it. That was my question.
It's a good question. So I think part of the challenge there is that there's all these little different data points, right? And you're not really quite sure what you're looking at. I think the most important thing that you want to pay attention to is pay attention to what they're buying the properties at, the purchase price.
Okay.
Pay attention to what they're selling it for. And then the money in between, the margin, right? And this will start to become intuitive, Christina, if you just practice it. And then notice, like, okay, there's the numbers, and then this is the percentage of ARV that particular buyer was willing to buy at. Because no one property is going to give you the whole picture of everything. I've seen somebody and hear people asking for averages. Like, don't work off of averages. Work off of knowing the buy box of your high target or high value target buyers. So the buyers that are buying from the MLS that are willing to pay more, know them, like learn everything about them. Go out when you start to research, go to their website. Some of these guys have egos too, and they like to put up with the deals they've closed. Like, oh, they really like that property because they wanted to show it to everyone. When you call that buyer, tell them something about themselves that they think would, they'd like. Oh, I really like that house that you just did. I love the way you guys did the kitchen. That waterfall island is amazing. It looks like you guys closed 5 deals in that zip code in the last 5 months. That's amazing. How did you do that? So what you're building is your local market intelligence, and it isn't all going to make sense all at once. But if you just research it, you're going to have an aha moment, and these dots are going to start to connect in your mind like a beautiful mind. You ever seen that when the numbers are flying around and eventually just kind of create a formula? That's what will happen. So go do the work, go through the process, research these. You'll start to see things kind of connect. The dots will begin to connect for you.
Okay, awesome. And the other question is, it says source, MLS, or direct. And I was just wondering, most of my sources were public record. Is that something that should I be worried about, or just?
No, it depends. You might be in an area where they're buying a lot of stuff off market, which is okay. But that's another key thing to know, right? Like, okay, I'm looking at an area where majority of the buyers are buying things direct from seller. So that might mean that, oh, maybe I don't want to focus on this particular part of town, right? Maybe you should find another part of town where they're buying more properties from the MLS. And that doesn't mean that has to be your final strategy. It's just for this challenge, we're going to be doing on market stuff because it's more simple. The person has already raised their hand. They said, I want to sell. This is how much I want to sell it for. You don't have to chase them around town or sit in front of their house and wait for them to get home and then, get jumped when you come to the door, right? we're simplifying it for you. With on market, it's going to help to eliminate a lot of the other uncertainty and things that we don't know how to do yet, and just focus on the numbers and just focus on the real estate. And then once we need to figure out this, then those sub 2 deals and those lease options and those wraps and a lot of those other things will start to make more sense too, because you'll have the foundation, the underlying information that will help you understand like what a deal is in your market, and it will all just start to make more sense.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Pace, for everything. Thank you, Benson, for everything. I really appreciate you guys giving us your time. This is a life-changing thing. I can't believe a week ago I didn't even know where a realtor was, and now I'm talking about all of this, and I'm so excited.
Your guys' homework for the night is to pinch yourself and make sure you're not dreaming. Okay, that's your homework for the night. All right. One thing I do, before we leave, I want to ask my girl Robin a question. Robin, how you doing?
Hey, I am doing so great.
Good.
I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy that everybody, I'm going to take some credit. It's all of my lack of action, and you're having to say, oh my God, that has brought everybody here. So thank you, everybody, that I have fallen on the sword for you. I purposely didn't do all the work. Anyway, I just mean to say that I'm so very fortunate to have the opportunity that I have. And I'm glad that all of you guys get to come along with me.
Me too. I'm glad you're here. We're so proud of you. And for any of you guys that need a little bit of context, 30 seconds of context, Robin Hurt is a student of mine. She was reluctant to join my mentorship a while back. Not that she didn't see the value and she didn't, have a good relationship with me, and she didn't love Brent Daniels and Jamil. It's just that she had joined other mentorships in the past. And for one reason or the other, they all missed the mark. And partly Robin takes responsibility for that. And sometimes the mentorships just lacked the community that we have. And so Robin joined, and we essentially have made it a mission to get Robin her first deal. She got her first creative finance contract on Saturday. She is the one that closed the deal, which is amazing. I am editing the recording of that call just to remove the seller's name and some other stuff out of it. And we'll be releasing that to the sub 2 students. They can hear Robin Hurt's first subject to close, which is amazing. My question for you is that I know this seller that you're in contract with, you and I are in contract with, is in foreclosure. And so we have a very tight timeline to stop this foreclosure for the seller. Were you able to get some movement on that today?
Yeah, we spoke today and she's having some weather issues in her area, so she couldn't get some internet stuff. I don't think she sent the final thing, which is a copy of her statement. We spoke today to the trustee. I got her on the phone with the trustee and myself, coached her about all she really was going to be doing was providing me permission to speak on her behalf. We got them to submit the necessary information via email with her consent to ask for the, what's the right term to figure out what all the money is? What's
the reinstatement?
Yeah, the reinstatement. They told us that there was no guarantee that it would be quick enough, but she was going to put a rush on it and hope that would happen. Now we need to call the lender, and she's trying to send me a copy of the statement, and hopefully I'll communicate with her early in the morning again about that.
You know, what's interesting is just think about this for a second. I've talked to other students about this, like Carolyn and Myron out of DFW. It's magical to me to listen to you articulate what you just did at a high level, that you can understand all of those things you just said. A year ago, would you have understood how to do that?
Maybe, because I've watched, absorbed, stuffed all this crap in here and done nothing with it. So it's all been rattling around in there, being pushed over to the edge to just do something, and finally also being able to maximize my time in a way that I elected to do or not do before. I mean, it's just, the whole answer is doing something with the information I've been learning. And the community that we have here, all of you who are not sub 2, and I'm not trying to sell the mentorship, I'm just saying this, It is uncomparable to anything that I've ever been involved in. Not that anything else was bad, but the community that we have here, that's what seals the deal here.
It's sold out, by the way. Sorry, everybody. I'm very sorry. But Robin, we're proud of you. I love listening to you talk about this. We'll give you everybody some updates on some stuff. You and I have a potential cash deal that we're going to be buying tomorrow in Atlanta that got submitted to us. Somebody knew that you and I were working in Atlanta, and they went out on Privy and they found us a deal that I really like. They sent it to me via email today. I didn't have time to look at it with you or on Privy. So tomorrow I'm going to, 1, lock up that deal. And then 2, we're going to submit an offer to an agent directly through Privy. So it will be absolutely magical tomorrow, and you'll do multiple deals with me in just a matter of a couple of weeks.
I'm so excited.
Travis Banks says, are we allowed to submit deals to PACE? Please only submit deals to my sub 2 students, if you don't mind. If you are trying to do a deal with me, work with my students.
That's capped off at me right now.
It's capped off with Robin right now. If you want to do a deal with me, send it to Robin Hurt right now. She's my partner right now. So, guys, we appreciate you. Most important person we need to give love and appreciation to is Benson, this capitalist pig.
Thank you.
Oink, oink, you capitalist pig that showed up every freaking day. Showed up
Thanks for
every
giving to us.
Guys, he sent me a voice memo this morning. It was his first voice memo he's ever sent. It was like 4 minutes long. I loved every second of it. And he was like, I can't wait. He's like, if you don't want me at the challenge today, I totally get it, but I really want to be there. Tell me. I was like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, Benson, thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Oh man, this has been amazing. I love it. This is way better than like our community by itself. We need some support on that pace for sure. We don't know how to build a community.
Well, I know a thing or two about that.
You do.
Exposure.
Yes.
You're learning it now.
Yes. So, Bill says, when did sub 2 sell out? It sold out 2.5 years ago. I'm sorry. It's unfortunate. You can't get in. But Benson, we love you and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. And everybody in here, if you are brand new, I know that some of this was a little overwhelming today, but I promise if you stick with us, you will move forward. The difference about us is that we attracted amazing go-givers that all want to help lead and help you guys out with no cost, no mentorship, none of that stuff. But what also is different about us is that we all take action together. What I was so happy about today is that we slowed down Privy. I want to slow down Privy every damn day. That means people are taking action. I don't know whether you guys are taking action or not. I can't fly to your house. I can't knock on your door and go, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Are you? But you know what's great is when the Privy servers slow down, that means you guys are taking action. That makes me so damn excited. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. What time are we doing it tomorrow, guys? What time tomorrow?
5:30.
5:30 Arizona time. The only time zone that matters in the world. I'm so sorry. I am biased. 5:30 Arizona time, we are going to start. We'll probably go 3 hours tomorrow because I want to prep everybody. We'll do some Q&A, and I'll prep everybody, and I'll bring my transaction coordinator in here. We're going to show you how to submit an offer to prepare you for Wednesday when we break the world record. I want people in here going,
so exciting.
I didn't even know what wholesale was on Monday, but I submitted my first offer by Wednesday. We're going to have some of those people. Okay. Has anybody in here not ever submitted an offer in their life that is looking forward to getting past that paradigm shift? Give me a yes. I see you guys raising your hands. Gary Tatarian is raising his hand. Gary, you can't be typing if your hand's in the air, dog. Okay.
Hey, Pace, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there going to be a challenge to making offers in the evening at night?
Yeah, I mean, the challenge is because everybody works. We are going to be what we're going to be doing is, gosh, that's a great question. I wonder if I should do it earlier on Wednesday.
Well, I feel like that for some people, especially on the East Coast, right? It's going to be, what is that? 8:30 when it starts. So how are they going to write offers when agents? We know they turn off their phones at 7 because they're out at the bar. Like,
I'm gonna figure that out. I have an idea on Wednesday. If I have to do it earlier and take the day off from the TV show, I will do that. I will call in sick at A&E, and I will come in here to make sure we hit our goal. If I come in here early, I will do that. Do you guys want me to call in sick? Will you guys not tattle on me if I
I'll
call in
tattle.
I don't
sick?
want title. Well, how about this too, Pace? Like they could submit their offers based off of their timeline. So if they know how to do it by Tuesday night, maybe they could submit it at noon and then they bring evidence of that to the presentation.
I like that. Let's work.
Now
Let's
he
work.
doesn't get the day off.
Let's work on that on tomorrow. We'll give the homework for everybody. I like that idea, Benson. That's super freaking smart. Okay, everybody, your homework tonight, pinch yourself. Make sure you're not dreaming because you're going to help us break a world record. Okay, I'm going to spoil the end of the movie. You're not in a dream. This is some real cool stuff. Second part of homework is tomorrow. Make sure you have filled out the form to make sure you're underneath Privy, either Jamil or myself. And you're going to be getting an email with Benson's going to give you your homework to watch to make sure that you have some clarity on a few simple basic things. Watch that. Take notes. We'll do some Q&A about it. Also inside that email, we're going to have an AirMeet link. AirMeet is we're not going to meet on Zoom. We're not going to be on YouTube tomorrow. We're all going to be collectively together because we had about 1,600 people today between Zoom and YouTube. And that's not fair to the people on YouTube. We want them in here communicating and hanging out. Okay. And we're also going to, tomorrow, I'm going to introduce you to Carly, who is the Facebook manager for the free Facebook group. Okay. And she is going to give you instructions on how to join an accountability group. Yes. Laura Smith, AirMeet is another app. I use it all the time for my challenges and all sorts of things. You'll click on the link. It'll make you register. It's completely free. Costs me money, but it doesn't cost you money. Okay. So you guys will be getting that tomorrow. Okay. Benson, once again, thank you, brother. We appreciate you
Thanks,
tremendously.
guys.
Caroline,
Appreciate
I
it.
know usually you're waking up early and running the daily dial for the sub 2 community, but I appreciate your sacrifice and I love you. I am happy to be your Robin to your Batman.
You're amazing, Pace. Thank you for this.
Okay. Love everybody. Thank you guys so much.
Good night,
Appreciate all
everyone.
my sub 2 students and my givers. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Benson. Thank you.